I was a mercenary long before I ever learned how to be a high school student. So when people say high school is brutal, yeah, I get it. Bad food, fake friends, and rich kids with major god complexes. Girls whisper like you are some new product on display, while guys try to prove they have guts just because a handsome transfer student walked in. Pretty scary stuff. But none of that compares to Russia, the place where my family's plane went down when I was only 9. My parents died in that crash, and the men who found me did not send me back home. Instead, they handed me to Director at 9, a private military unit that saw potential in a half-dead kid freezing in the snow. Potential is just a cute word adults use when they want to professionally ruin your life. They took my name. Adrian Keller vanished, and Zero was born. By 13, I could strip a rifle blindfolded. By 15, I cleared rooms faster than grown men could even find the safety switch on their guns. Once I hit 17, I had taken enough lives that sleep felt like a luxury. Then came the day Misha died to save me. He was my teammate, my only true friend, and honestly the biggest idiot I ever knew. The guy stole food from me, taught me dirty Russian jokes, and once punched an instructor for calling me a dog. That guy broke 2 of Misha's teeth. Misha just spat blood on the floor and said it was totally worth it. That was his style. But our last mission was supposed to be simple. Believe me on this, those are always the exact missions that turn into absolute garbage. One by one, our squad dropped in the freezing snow until only Misha and I were left, barely even breathing. He had shrapnel buried in his side and blood dripping from his chin. I tried dragging him out, but he grabbed my collar and yanked me close. Next, he ripped the dog tag from my neck and shoved it into his own vest. I grabbed his wrist, yelling what the hell he was doing. Misha just smiled, blood staining his teeth, and told me I always wanted a normal life anyway. He muttered about school, friends, and normal food. I told him to shut up, but he said from this second on, I was dead. Let them find him. Misha wanted them to bury him as me. I tried lifting his body again, but he hit my chest with his last bit of strength. He warned me not to waste this trying to be a hero because I was terrible at it. Behind us, fuel tanks burned. Smoke covered everything. The gunfire kept getting closer. Misha shoved me hard toward the trees, telling me to run straight ahead and never look back. He told me not to return to this hell. I still reached for him, but he just gave me one last grin, wishing me a normal life. The massive explosion hit before I even reached the tree line. Director at 9 later found a burned body wearing my tag and carrying my tracker. Their official report marked Zero as deceased. Major Reyes found me 3 weeks later, half-starved, half-frozen, and simply too angry to die. He helped me disappear. New passport, new school records, a tiny apartment over a laundromat, and a fresh name. Aiden Walker, 17, transfer student, and normal American high school senior. At least, that was the initial plan. Major Reyes dropped me off in West Bridge with 3 strict rules. First, do not fight, do not stand out, and stop looking at people like you are deciding where to bury them. I said I understood. I lied. 24 hours later, I stepped into my first American classroom, smelling cheap body spray and greasy cafeteria fries, only to watch a quarterback slide his expensive white sneaker into the aisle to trip me. My body reacted way before my new name did. My right hand twitched toward his throat, my left foot shifted to break his knee. My eyes instantly mapped the desk, the window, the fire alarm, the exit, and his exposed pulse. All of that happened in less than 1 single second. You can guess the struggle here. When you are raised as a weapon, you do not see a prank. You see lethal angles. I froze right before his shoe touched me. The quarterback looked up at me with that smug, stupid half-smile guys always wear when their friends are watching them. Raising his voice for the whole room, he mocked me as a lost pretty boy. The girls stopped whispering. The guys leaned forward. Our teacher, Mrs. Harlow, looked over from her desk, asking if Aiden was okay. Aiden? Right? That was me now. Just a harmless transfer kid. I was definitely not the dead mercenary those Russian units had already buried. Instead, I gave the quarterback a polite smile. Polite smiles still feel totally wrong on my face, like wearing someone else's skin for a yearbook photo. Sorry about that, I said. I muttered that I thought I dropped something. He snorted, and his friends laughed. In his tiny brain, I had backed down. Fine, let him have his small victory. Some people need charity right before disaster strikes. Beside me, a skinny guy with nervous eyes leaned over and whispered not to mind Bryce because he is always like that. I turned, and he flinched. People always do that when they realize your killer eyes arrived way before your face did. He swallowed and tried again. Introducing himself as Noah Finch, he nervously welcomed me to Westbridge. I thanked him, while he pointed his pencil at the quarterback. Meet Bryce Voss, school football royalty. His dad is rich, his mom is terrifying, and his sister is even worse. Just laugh it off. I asked if laughing actually helps. Noah said no, but it makes you look a lot less scared. That was my first real survival tip here. The day dragged on forever. Bells rang out like warning alarms. Students moved through the halls in hostile packs. Everyone stared just a bit too long. The girls whispered about my face like I was on public display. The guys looked at me like I just trashed their home turf. High school is basically a brutal jungle with slightly better lighting. At lunch, a girl stops by my table, clutching her tray tight against her chest. She has brown hair tied back with a blue ribbon and tired eyes that do not belong on someone our age. Staring at me, then at the empty chair, she expects trouble. Then she says Mrs. Harlow asked her to show me around after school. Her name is Lily Parker. Her voice is pretty gentle, but her fingers are gripping that tray like a shield. I tell her my name is Aiden. She already knows. Is that bad? Depends who notices first, she says. Before I can ask what that means, someone shoves Lily from behind. Milk splashes everywhere. A group of girls starts laughing nearby. Right in the center sits a blonde girl with perfect makeup, expensive nails, and a smile that looks totally practiced in a mirror. Madison Voss. I do not know her name yet, but I definitely recognize her type. Every single school has one. The kind of person who knows fear looks like respect if you dress it up. You know the type, right? Madison tilts her head, telling Lily to be careful because she is always so clumsy. Lily just looks down, too exhausted to fight back. Quietly nodding, she acts like she is totally used to this humiliation. Something cold moves inside me. I have seen grown men beg before dying. I have seen hardened soldiers freeze under gunfire. But there is a special kind of ugly in watching someone accept abuse because fighting back has failed too many times. Lily whispers that it is fine. Madison just grins. For the first time today, I wonder if Misha died for a normal life that does not even exist. The bell rings. Everyone moves on. Except me. I watch Lily wipe milk off her tray with a napkin while Madison and her friends laugh into their phones. My hand squeezes the plastic fork on my tray until it snaps right in half. Yeah, my first day is going just great. After school, Lily is waiting by the front doors, clutching her backpack to her chest like makeshift body armor. I should have recognized that defensive look instantly. She smiles quickly, asking if I am ready for the tour. I ask if I even need one. Apparently, I got lost finding lunch. I claim I was studying the layout, but she jokes I was just stuck outside the girls' bathroom. Bad intel. She actually laughs before she can stop herself. Quickly she looks around, scared the queen of petty drama might catch her smiling. Then we start walking through the halls. We visit the library, the gym, the offices, and the secret cafeteria exit everyone sneaks out of when teachers are not looking. Her voice is soft, but as she guides me, she actually starts to relax. Turns out, her grandfather is a night security guard here and the landlord for my building. That is exactly how she knows I just moved into that tiny third-floor apartment above the busy laundromat. Apparently her grandpa called me quiet. I tell her it happens. Also, he noticed I do not own a microwave. I thought the place had one. She says it did, but you put a metal soup can in there without opening it. I stop dead. Lily bites her lip, trying not to laugh. I tell her it just made a sound. She says it exploded, which is basically the same thing. This time, she really laughs. Just for a second, she looks like a regular girl, hanging out with a regular guy after an ordinary school day. We reach the back parking lot. Madison Voss is leaning against a black SUV with her crew, while Bryce tosses a football nearby. Madison's eyes lock onto Lily, then drift to me. And watch this, the entire mood shifts instantly. Stepping forward, she mocks Lily for finding herself a guard dog. Instantly, Lily takes a small step behind me to hide. I hate that she feels she has to hide. One of Madison's friends, a redhead, eyes me up and down like a prize. She calls me cute but weird. Bryce catches his football and struts over with two massive guys flanking him. Huge arms, even bigger egos. The kind of jocks who think lifting weights makes them actual fighters. Bryce points the football right at me. He asks if I am following her. I ignore him, asking Lily if they are her friends. She just freezes. Madison laughs, calling it adorable and saying Lily has no friends. The redhead steps up, flicking the blue ribbon in Lily's hair. Instead, she claims Lily just has chores. Lily whispers for them to stop, and that quiet plea bothers me more than any scream. Bryce gets in my face, asking if the new transfer is deaf. I calmly say no. No what? He demands. I explain I am not following her. Mrs. Harlow just asked her to show me around. Bryce smirks like he just won a prize. He mocks her as the teacher's helper. Madison's sharp smile grows, saying Lily loves being useful. She even did Madison's chemistry project last month. Lily just stares at the dirt. I know exactly what happened. Madison stole her hard work and called it help. Bryce gets right in my face, chest almost touching mine, trying to teach me a lesson. He tells me nobody messes with the Voss family here, but his stance tells a completely different story. Weak stance, empty hands, totally overconfident. My old director at 9 would have failed this kid instantly before breakfast. Just walk away. Do not look back. I take a step back, and Bryce smirks. Instead, he reaches right past me and rips Lily's bag away, spilling all her books into the dirty street. The crowd starts snickering. It is just loud enough to let Lily know everyone saw and chose cowardice over helping. She crouches down, face burning. Before my brain even thinks, I grab Bryce by his wrist. Silence. I twist his wrist sharply, just enough pressure to introduce his entire nervous system to pure regret. He drops to his knees, hissing in shock. I lean in and tell him to pick it up. Madison looks absolutely offended, not scared. Rich kids always mistake actual consequences for simple disrespect. Trying to pull away is a truly horrible mistake. This intense pain makes him make a very embarrassing sound. Grab her books, I say, while Lily just stares at me in terror. She whispers, Aiden, it is fine, but it really is not. Suddenly, Bryce swings his fist at me. I let go. Slipping past his punch, I drive 2 knuckles straight under his ribs. Just a quick warning tap. He drops down, coughing violently, while that red-haired girl screams in absolute panic. His buddy rushes me from the side, but I grab his coat and slam him shoulder first into the car. The car alarm chirps. His other friend freezes on the spot, sneakers squeaking loudly. Smart move. Bryce struggles back up, red-faced and furious, calling me a total psycho. I look down at the scattered books, and Bryce looks too. His pride fights, then crumbles completely. He slowly bends down and grabs one. The entire place goes so quiet you can hear Madison breathing. Gathering them one by one, he cleans up while Lily looks completely ready to disappear forever. I hate seeing her like that. Once he is done, he backs away, holding his side with hatred in his eyes. Madison grabs his arm, whispering something. Honestly, I do not even need to hear it. Her expression says everything. This is not over. Lily holds her bag tightly, warning me. I know, I tell her. But her shaking voice warns me that I really do not understand. She warns me that Bryce is not the worst. Meanwhile, Madison is already typing a message on her phone. Oh, look at that creepy smirk. She just sent a text, and I instantly know she called in backup. The next morning, I learn Bryce was just the warm-up. His older brother is absolute bad news. Tyler Voss is the senior captain and a local star athlete. Basically, he is the king of Westbridge High's biggest troublemakers. He struts right into my history class with 4 players trailing him, looking like he expects a whole school band to start playing. Everyone goes silent. Our teacher stops writing mid-sentence. You can feel how people naturally shrink away from raw authority. Tyler spots me by the window. He smiles. Definitely an idiot. Then, Mrs. Harlow finally steps in. She tells him he needs a pass. He completely ignores her, claiming he is just welcoming me. Right behind him is Bryce, clutching his ribs with a pale face that says he spent the whole night discovering heavy painkillers. Noah sits next to me, pale as paper. He whispers, "That's Tyler. I already guessed." He acts like Tyler is some unstoppable god. Meanwhile, the big brother starts walking right down my aisle. His massive friends spread out, while other kids quickly hide their phones under the desks. They will not help you fight, but they will happily record your beatdown. Tyler stops and towers directly over my desk. He says I hurt his brother, so I remind him Bryce swung first. Tyler laughs, but I tell him his system is broken. A few kids gasp, trying hard not to laugh. Tyler is not smiling anymore. He leans down, whispering that since I am new, I need to understand his family basically built half the school complex. His dad is on the board and his mom funds the school, meaning whatever story he tells becomes the absolute truth. Typical high school power trip, wrapped in a varsity jacket. He actually thinks his family money makes him untouchable. His hand stays on my desk. Easy break. I ignore the urge and look him dead in the eyes. Pull your hand back. Silence falls as Tyler's friends grin like this is the fun part. Then, the classroom door swings open. Lily stumbles inside. Her hair ribbon is gone. Her cheek is bruised red, and dirt covers her sweater. She desperately tries brushing it off with shaking hands, but everyone already saw. I stand up, scraping my chair back. Tyler looks back and laughs. Wow, Madison really works fast. That single comment sends an absolute chill straight through the room. Lily looks up, then quickly looks away. She whispers that she is sorry. Somehow, that hurts worse than Tyler's threat. She was just jumped, humiliated, and dragged into my mess. Yet, Her very first instinct is to apologize to me. Something deep inside my chest goes completely numb. It is that terrifying kind of calm right before a storm hits. Tyler turns back around. He smirks, saying this is what happens when people forget their place. Before the teacher can even yell, I launch forward. Tyler's first buddy reaches out to grab me. I snatch his wrist, step inside his guard, and slam my palm straight into his chest. He flies backward, smashing into a desk and scattering books everywhere. The second guy throws a wild, sweeping punch. I slip right under it, driving the heel of my shoe into his thigh. His leg buckles instantly under the painful shock. Screaming, he drops. Watch Bryce back away in sheer terror. Smart kid. Way too late, but pretty smart. The third guy lifts a chair to strike. I kick it right back into his gut, pinning him flat against the chalkboard. Chalk dust covers him as he slides down in absolute panic. Our teacher screams my name, but I completely tune her out. Tyler finally moves. He is quite a bit faster than the others, throwing a sharp punch right at my jaw. If he actually trained with a real master, he might have posed a threat. I catch his wrist, pivot, and drive my knee into his gut. All the air leaves him in a painful gasp. Before he collapses, I slam him face first onto my desk, pinning his arm back. His face slams against the wood with a loud crack. Instantly, cell phones go up everywhere. I lean down, whispering that he only touched Lily because of me. Tyler wheezes out that I am dead. People keep saying that. My voice is too calm, which actually scares me. Lily rushes over, grabs my sleeve, and begs me to stop. Her tiny, trembling hand clings tight. For a split second, the room fades away, and I see Mia's bloody fingers gripping me in the snow. I remember her telling me to run and never return to this hell. I release Tyler, who falls to the floor gasping. Lily drags me back, terrified that I will actually murder him if she lets go. Honestly, she is not wrong. The entire classroom falls dead silent. Noah just stares with his jaw dropped. Bryce looks like he wants to vanish from the face of the earth. Tyler's goons are groveling on the floor, groaning in total humiliation now that their fake tough guy confidence has completely evaporated. Mrs. Harlow reaches for her desk phone, shakily ordering me to the office. I simply nod and walk out. Tyler laughs weakly from the floor, gasping out that I have absolutely no idea what I just did to myself. He wipes blood from his mouth and grins, promising that his dad is going to bury me. Finally, the big picture clicks. Bryce was just a lapdog, Tyler was the attack dog, and Madison held the leash. But behind those three is an owner who thinks he can buy a grave. Soon, we are in the principal's office, smelling of cheap coffee and useless policies. Principal Whitaker sits behind his desk, glaring at me with folded hands. Coach Daniels stands nearby, looking at Tyler's battered face like someone just damaged school property. Honestly, Tyler probably views himself that way, too. Lily sits next to me, silently holding a cold ice pack to her bruised face. I already asked who hit her twice. She claims she just fell, but she cannot even look me in the eye. Principal Whitaker clears his throat, asking if I understand how serious this is. Apparently, beating up multiple bullies counts as assault. I explain they came to threaten me, but Coach Daniels slams his hand down, warning me to watch my mouth. I just stare at his hand. He slowly pulls it back. Whitaker notes there are witnesses who saw Tyler's crew enter the classroom without permission. Plus, there are videos. Coach Daniels' jaw instantly tightens because he absolutely hates that word. See, people with their own version of the truth despise cameras. Suddenly, the office door swings wide open. And trust me, the wealthy woman who walks in next screams trouble. It's Mrs. Voss, draped in designer clothes and radiating expensive lawsuits. Behind her is Mr. Voss, broad, gray-haired, and silent. He has a calm face that could either mean reasonable or extremely dangerous. With the ultra-wealthy, those two traits overlap. Finally, Madison enters. Wearing a pastel pink sweater, she holds her phone tightly. Her eyes dart straight to Lily's bruised cheek, and a small smirk appears. I catch her smirk, and so does Lily. Her fingers tighten around the ice pack. Mrs. Voss frantically rushes over to Tyler, who is sitting on the other side of the principal's office alongside a terrified Bryce. Mrs. Voss clutches Tyler's bruised face, gasping like she's looking at a literal war zone. "Look what that monster did to my baby," she cries, and Tyler acts like he's dying on cue. Bryce keeps his eyes glued to the floor. Mr. Voss locks eyes with me, then Lily, staying totally silent. Meanwhile, his wife spins around to snap at the principal. She demands I get expelled today and wants the cops called. Principal Whitaker adjusts his glasses, mentioning there are other circumstances. Circumstances? She points right at me. That kid is violent, and he came from nowhere. No family, no background anyone can trace, and now my kids are hurt. There it is again, no family, People always throw that in your face when you're alone. It makes you sound less like a real human being and more like actual trash on the street. Lily suddenly sits up. They were threatening him, she says. Madison's eyes instantly lock onto her. Lily flinches away, but she doesn't back down. That really mattered to me. Mrs. Voss flashes Lily a sickeningly sweet smile. Honey, I know making friends is hard for you, but lying isn't going to help, she says. Lily goes pale. I recognize that tone immediately. It's a soft voice hiding a sharp knife. Madison steps forward. Mom, don't be hard on her, Madison says, claiming Lily gets confused. I mean, look at this. The snake who ordered the attack is acting like a saint. Disgusting, but definitely impressive. Whitaker starts playing the classroom security footage. It shows Tyler's crew barging in, Tyler threatening me, Lily walking in already hurt, and then me flattening several football players. The video makes the whole office pretty uncomfortable, honestly. I moved way too fast, too clean, exactly like Zero. Mrs. Voss tries to spin it immediately, screaming that I was just waiting for an excuse. My son just wanted to talk, and that animal attacked. Animal. That single word drags me back to frozen rooms, metal tables, and instructors barking numbers instead of names. I feel my nails digging straight into my palms. Lily notices my hands clenching and gently taps my sleeve under the desk. A warning, a quick mercy. Mr. Voss finally asks what happened to the girl's face, completely shifting the room. Mrs. Voss looks highly annoyed. Madison's smile flickers. Lily quickly cuts in, saying she just fell. Mr. Voss studies her carefully, asking her exactly where. Lily swallows hard, muttering behind the gym. Suddenly, Madison's phone buzzes. She glances down and tucks it away way too fast. I catch a glimpse of the screen for a split second. A message from a contact saved as T. Dunn. Madison quickly slides it away. My eyes drift back to Lily's bruised cheek. Dunn. That word sits in my mind like a loaded weapon. Ultimately, Principal Whitaker suspends Tyler and his crew. He doesn't expel me or call the cops. Too many videos, too many witnesses. Too many ways the Voss family ends up looking terrible if people start asking why a senior football captain brought a crew into my classroom. Mrs. Voss storms out furious, but Madison leaves smiling. That smirk honestly bothers me far more than her mother's rage. After school, Lily flat out refuses to let me walk her home. I will be fine, she insists. But I remind her she said that earlier, too. Shame flashes in her eyes. I don't need you trying to fix everything, she snaps. I never said you did, but she insists I don't understand. When you fight back, they never stop, she warns. They just wait to find a corner where the adults are not watching. I have absolutely no answer because she is completely right. Violence solves your immediate problems, but it never actually cures rotten people. It just teaches them to target you where there are no cameras. Lily pulls her backpack straps tighter, begging me to stay out of it for just one day. I want to say yes. I want the peace Misha bought with his life. So, I nod. Just one day. That is all I promise, but it only lasts until 7:14 that night. I am in my apartment, staring at a microwave manual like it is some secret enemy code, when someone knocks. It's Mr. Parker, Lily's grandfather. He is a thin, tired-looking old man wearing a security guard jacket zipped all the way up. In his hand, he is holding a plastic container of warm stew. Lily tells me you do not cook, he says. I call it slander, but he just glances past me at the burn mark over my microwave. Highly accurate slander, I admit. Smiling, he hands me the food, mentioning Lily is a good girl, sometimes way too good. Do not let her push you away just because she is frightened. I stare down at the container. Real, warm food? A real plastic container, instead of some no Terry. No steam rising, not desert sand. No corpses around. Suddenly my throat tightens, which is just completely stupid. It's just stew, not a miracle. I thank him. Mr. Parker nods, saying Lily always fears trouble sticking to people. She has been that way since her parents died. My head snaps up. He seems to realize he spilled too much info and immediately takes a step back. Eat it before it gets cold, he tells me. Once he leaves, I sit down to open the container, but my phone suddenly buzzes. An unknown number sends a photo, and guys, my blood completely ran cold. It shows Lily cornered on the floor, surrounded by 3 girls in hoodies. Madison's pink sweater peeks out under one hoodie, an incredibly stupid mistake. Then, a text arrives. Tell your stray dog to heel, it reads. For a couple of seconds, I just stare at it. I slowly set the stew aside. Normal life can wait. But that photo has a timestamp, a clear reflection, and one absolutely beautiful piece of pure stupidity. Her friends took the picture right in front of a mirror wall, with the venue's name glowing backward in bright blue neon letters. Luxe Room was this private lounge 3 miles from school where rich kids rented rooms, sang terrible karaoke, drank illegally, and pretended velvet couches made them actual adults. People always think cruelty makes them look clever. Then they record themselves doing it. Genuinely exhausting. I threw on a hoodie, leaving my apartment, and taking the stairs 2 at a time. Down in the lobby, Mr. Parker was busy changing a light bulb. He looked down from his stepladder and asked if everything was fine. I just smiled. It was my go-to look for keeping civilians from asking questions, just out for a late walk, getting some fresh air. He stared at the rain outside, muttering that it was just wet, but I was already gone. Luxe Room sat right above a sushi place and below a dental clinic. Quite a classy combo. Nothing says teenage crime quite like raw fish and root canals. At the front desk, a bored employee looked up to say members only. I flashed the photo on my screen, demanding to know which room. Suddenly, he looked pretty annoyed and slightly terrified. That is a very different feeling from actual guilt. Check this out. I just leaned on the counter, staring down the corridor behind him. He swallowed hard, whispering room 6. Some progress at least. I walked right past him without a single protest. Room 6 was totally empty when I pushed it open. Crooked cushions, a spilled cup on the table, and there on the carpet by the wall a blue ribbon. It belonged to Lily. I picked it up, my fist clenching around the fabric. Suddenly, the door behind me clicked shut. 4 guys walked in, looking older than Tyler's usual high school crowd. College age, probably local muscle, and one wore a staff shirt. Another guy wore a silver chain, sporting a face that had clearly been punched by many people and improved by absolutely none. Silver Chain grinned, asking if I was the transfer kid. I pocketed the ribbon, saying it depends. He muttered that the Voss kid warned them. Did he say that before or after crying in the nurse's office? His cocky smile instantly vanished. Apparently, I was getting quite good at American small talk. He reached inside his jacket, pulling out a heavy collapsible baton. The staff member locked the door behind us. Chain guy rolled his wrist, warning me that I needed to leave Madison alone. I told him I got it, but bringing a stick to a tiny room seemed funny. He called it practical, then swung. I lunged inside the swing before the baton could gain momentum, driving my elbow hard into his jaw. His teeth clicked, and his knees buckled. Catching the baton in midair, I cracked the handle down onto the second guy's wrist, making the bone emit a sickening little crunch. He shrieked, dropping his phone, while the third guy snatched a bottle from the table. I immediately kicked the heavy wood into his shins. As he doubled over, I slammed my palm against the side of his skull, guiding his head quite gently right into the wall. Well, gently by my standards anyway. The staff guy desperately tried to unlock the door and flee, but I grabbed his collar. He froze. I demanded to know where Lily was. He whined that he did not know, so I yanked him up until his heels left the floor. I told him I was having a pretty bad day and to try again. He gasped out. They dumped her alive near the alley by her home. Alive. That single word barely offered any comfort. As Chain Guy groaned on the carpet, I knelt down and fished his phone out. He weakly reached for my wrist, but I pressed a finger directly into the bruised pressure point under his jaw. He quickly let go. Finding the text was incredibly easy. Tyler Voss had sent over the room number, a photo of Madison, and a brief order to scare me off. After copying everything to my phone, I used the thug's mobile to text Tyler a simple 2-word update. He came. And get this, those typing dots popped up almost instantly, with Tyler snapping back to bring me to the warehouse. People like Tyler are truly amazing. You give them a tiny mistake, and they build a massive mansion on it. The address arrived 2 seconds later. Slipped out of Luxe Room down the back stairs. The receptionist tried incredibly hard to pretend he did not even see me. Outside, the rain blurred the glowing street lights. No missed calls or messages from Lily. If she truly was back home, she was safe for now. That thought should have put my mind at ease, but it did not. The warehouse stood near the river, hidden behind decaying auto shops. Loud music vibrated through the walls before I even reached the door. Tyler and his crew chose a spot with 0 neighbors, terrible lighting, and a single exit. To them, it probably felt quite threatening. To me, it just felt very considerate. I stepped inside through the side entrance. Around 15 people hung around inside, athletes, wealthy kids, and sketchy local hangers-on pretending to be tough alongside rich trust fund babies. Tyler stood by a folding table with Bryce, Madison, and 2 girls from that photo. Madison spotted me first, gasping as Tyler turned with a glowing grin. There he is, Tyler yelled as I shut the door. Someone laughed, mocking me for showing up completely alone. Someone called it the funniest thing all night. Rolling his shoulders, Tyler walked up, calling me stupid. I ignored him and faced Madison. Where is Lily? I demanded. Madison crossed her arms, scoffing that she was probably home crying. The room laughed. I turned back to Tyler. Last chance, I warned. Tyler spread his arms. Asking for what? I replied, so everyone leaves here with the exact same number of working limbs. They brought in. A couple of nervous chuckles broke out. Tyler's face turned to stone. Break him. The first lackey charged. I moved and the entire warehouse suddenly forgot how to laugh. I only broke grips, not bones, if I could avoid it. I slammed knees into guts, elbows into jaws, and smashed bodies right into folding chairs. Then, a metal pipe came swinging at my head. I ducked, ripped the pipe away, and smashed his leg hard enough to drop him to the floor, screaming for his mother. Another guy tried to tackle me from behind. I dropped low, grabbed his arm, and flipped him over my shoulder into his buddies. Bryce tried to bolt. I let him go, positive reinforcement, right? Tyler, though, managed to stand a bit longer. The guy swung hard with a solid reach, fueled by enough raw rage to ignore pain. But I slipped inside, trapped his arm, and buried my fist in his ribs. Down on one knee he went. I grabbed his jacket collar and dragged him over to the heavy folding table. Madison retreated with wide eyes. Finally, absolute terror replaced her smug smile. It honestly suited her better. Tyler just coughed. My dad will be starts, but I slam him onto the table, splintering it completely. Your dad isn't here. Now, only groans fill the room. Madison's phone shook in her hand. As I walked forward, she backed up right into the hard brick wall. She quickly screeched, I didn't touch her. I silently pulled Lily's blue ribbon from my pocket. Madison stared, all her color vanishing. Holding the ribbon between us, I said, you stole this. She had nothing, and you sent that photo. Her panicked eyes darted to Tyler. Look at that face, the first real crack. When pride dies, blame starts looking for a new home. I stepped closer. I won't hit you, I promised. She almost relaxed, until I added, I am going to make sure everyone sees what you are. Her expression twisted. You have no idea who you are dealing with. That classic line again. Honestly, wealthy folks should put that on their family crest. Tyler lay bleeding on a shattered table while his friends whined on the floor. Madison stood frozen against the wall, shaking. Neither do you, I muttered, walking out into the pouring rain. Back home, Lily's apartment light was finally shining. I lingered in the quiet hallway, listening. From inside, the soft sounds of kitchen activity drifted out to me. Mr. Parker moving around. Lily answering in a tired voice. Safe and alive for tonight. That simply had to be enough for now. I slept for 43 minutes. I knew because my eyes snapped open like a loud gunshot had just gone off right beside my head. The real threat was just my phone buzzing on the nightstand. Major Reyes. I stared at the ringing screen, let it stop, then answered on the next try. Reyes did not waste time on pleasantries. Tell me you didn't put half a football team in the hospital. Well, half is a bit dramatic. Aiden, I seriously didn't do that. Silence. So, how many? He asked. I told him some of them just needed ice packs. How many needed actual doctors? That depends on how proud their parents are. Reyes sighed so deeply. I swear he aged 10 years. You promised me you would keep a low profile. I tried. Trying is what people say before I find corpses. But nobody died. Congrats, you are adapting to civilization at a kindergarten level. I sat on my bed, staring down at my swollen, bruised knuckles. They hurt someone, didn't they? I figured as much. His voice softened a tiny bit. The Parker girl? I kept quiet. He swore quietly. Reyes knew me well enough to understand the gravity of this. I rarely ever attach myself to people. I didn't care about places, either. But when a girl feeds me stew, laughs at my terrible cooking, and cowers because the world taught her to feel tiny, my brain reacts poorly. Killing was just basic arithmetic to me. Emotions, however, came with terrible instructions. Reyes spoke up, listen, powerful families like the Voss clan do not play fair. They won't keep this inside the school walls anymore. I know. Then start acting like it. Do not get blindsided. Suddenly, a knock hit my door. 3 slow taps. My gaze locked onto the door. Reyes heard my silence. Aiden, do not open that door. I stood up. Aiden. I hung up on him. The tapping returned, louder this time. I swung the door open to find 2 heavy-duty criminals standing there. Or, at least, thugs trying their hardest to play the part. School athletes and trust fund babies suddenly felt like child's play. One thug had a nasty neck tattoo peeking out over his collar. The other wore a leather jacket with one hand hidden. Tattoo guy smiled. Aiden Walker? No. He blinked, asking if they had the wrong room. You asked me if I was Aiden. I said no because you already knew. This entire chat started off stupidly, and I really hate where it's heading. Smirk, gone. Leather jacket muttered the boss wants to talk. He can use a phone. Tattoo stepped right up. Not that kind of conversation, they warned. The hallway behind them lay completely quiet. Mr. Parker's door was shut, and Lily's lights were off. I stepped outside and shut the door. Where? I asked. Leather jacket looked stunned. You are actually coming? Well, you did knock. Tattoo laughed, muttering that I had balls. But really, I just had neighbors to protect. That is why I let them drive me to an old South Side gym. This place was far from abandoned. In fact, it was very occupied. Cold-eyed guards stood near the entrance, tracking my every move. The faded sign above said Southline Athletic Club, but the aggressive graffiti sprayed all over the brick walls told a completely different story. The Southline Kings. Noah mentioned them at lunch. A local gang dealing in drugs, gambling, club security, debt collection, and every other illegal service criminals love. Inside, their gym smelled of sweat, cheap rubber, and terrible life choices. Dante Crow was waiting near the ring. He was in his 30s, maybe older. He had thick arms, a shaved head, a white tank top, and a dark jacket. No flashy cartoon gangster vibes here, which only made him look more dangerous. Real power does not wear sequins. Dante sized me up, you the high school kid? A few lackeys laughed, but Dante did not. He slowly rolled a cigar between his fingers, looking right through me. The Voss family says you beat up their kids, threatened their daughter, and hospitalized a boy. Well, that is a massive lie. They paid for a threat. Return it now. Dante smiled, his men chuckling even louder. You got a smart mouth on you? Just one. Your guys dragged me here, so listen up. A thin smile spread on his face. He claimed he hated hitting kids. I told him that must be tough in his business. Dante raised a hand before his men could jump, but he loved rich people owing him favors. So here's the deal. Stay away from the Voss family. Stay away from their daughter. Stay away from the pathetic little girl who started this whole mess. Transfer schools if they say so. Vanish if they ask nicely. Or else he gestured ringward. 4 massive thugs climbed inside. They had boxing stances, looking confident. Sadly, these were the kinds of guys who built their entire identity around violence. He pointed to the canvas. Go learn. I stared back. Do I get gloves? Dante laughed. You want gloves? No. I am just seeing how serious you are about playing a sport. And just like that, the trap is sprung. One of his guys loses his cool and climbs out. I stepped up, smashed his chin before his foot even landed on the mat. He collapsed backward. Complete silence. Dante froze. Cigar stopped. I climbed inside. The other 3 surrounded me, better than high school athletes. The first threw a quick combo. Fast for an amateur, but dead slow to my eyes. I slipped the lead jab, blocked the cross, and buried my fist directly into his liver. He doubled over, gasping for air. The second kicked. I hopped over, caught his leg, and swept him. Fast. He crashed hard. The ropes shook. The third guy hesitated. I liked that. Hesitation means his brain still works. Suddenly, a knife. Talk about primitive kindergarten street tactics. He lunged over the ropes with the blade low. I snatched his wrist, twisted hard until he dropped it, and smashed my elbow into his jaw. The blade clattered down. I kicked it away. Dante watched in silence. Everyone in the room knew what was happening now. This was not about acting tough. I had survived far worse places, deadlier opponents, and harsher rules. Dante stepped into the ring. His lackeys looked nervous. He moved surprisingly well, heavy but fast. He threw a massive test hook. I let the blow brush my shoulder and countered with a sharp dig to his ribs. He grunted, then smirked. Damn, he grunted, you are definitely not normal. He came at me again, unleashing real power. I blocked 2 strikes, absorbed the third on my forearm, and felt the bone ache. He was much stronger than his men. But it was still not enough. I slipped inside his guard, trapped his arm, and drove my palm into his chest. He stumbled back. Before he could recover, I swept his legs and pinned him face down, my knee locking his shoulders in place. The room froze. I leaned down, tell the Voss family their warning failed. He panted beneath my knee. He let out a breathless, humorless laugh. His entire reality had just crumbled. Do you have any idea how rich they are? Wincing as I pressed down, he gasped, fine, then give me trouble I can actually use. Total surrender. 5 minutes later, look, I walk out with his phone screenshots. Screenshots showing payments from Mrs. Voss. Tyler sent the address. Madison sent pictures, call records, transfer histories, and one perfect voicemail from Mrs. Voss herself, demanding they terrify me until I finally skip town. These people were practically doing my homework for me. Outside, Dante limped to the doorway, clutching his bruised ribs. "Hey kid," he called. I stopped. He wiped chin blood. "Who are you?" I gave him the only truth I could afford, just a student. He laughed, coughing weakly, calling himself the Tooth Fairy. Come Monday morning, West Breach High was facing a massive storm. The whole school had seen the video of me folding Tyler Voss and his crew like cheap lawn chairs. But the Voss family still thought money could erase reality. Mrs. Voss showed up with a lawyer, 2 school board members, and a look of practiced, absolute moral outrage. Tyler wore sunglasses indoors. Apparently, even humiliation needs its own cheap accessories. Madison followed close behind, looking fragile enough for cameras but healthy enough to ruin lives. Whitaker called an emergency disciplinary hearing in the auditorium conference room, where I sat with Lily and Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker absolutely insisted on showing up, even though Lily begged him to stay. Wearing his clean security guard jacket, he clutched a folder of printed screenshots like that paper could actually protect Lily. That hit me somewhere deep. Across the table sat the Voss family, their attorney, Coach Daniels, and 2 board members who clearly valued rich donations over truth. Mrs. Voss opened first, placing one hand over her heart to claim her children were terrorized by a violent, sketchy transfer student. Dirty opening, but effective. Their lawyer nodded like he was watching fine art as Mrs. Voss claimed Madison was now too afraid to sleep. Tyler's college future is ruined, Bryce is injured, and this poor girl, she pointed right at Lily, has been heavily manipulated. You have to admire the audacity here. If the facts hate you, just kidnap the victim and make her the lie. Mr. Parker squeezed his folder tight as Lily quietly whispered that it was not true. Madison looked down, faking tears on command, while trying to comfort Lily, who flat out refused to look back at her. Pure cowardice behind thick eyeliner. Their lawyer then slid printed screenshots of the classroom fight across the table. Every photo showed me hitting Tyler's crew, but none showed them cornering me. Extremely selective editing, like serving a burger with only pickles. He claimed the footage spoke for itself. I disagreed. It only mumbles because you cut the beginning off, I countered, making the board members frown while the attorney glared in anger. No, I think it is edited, I replied. The room shifted as I set down my phone to play the actual unedited clip. Tyler entering, threatening me, Lily stumbling and hurt, and Tyler bragging about Madison's quick work. Madison's fake crying stopped instantly. Mrs. Voss snapped that it proved nothing about Madison. I simply agreed with her. I displayed the Lux room photo showing Lily helpless on the floor. Madison's pink sweater was clearly visible, her red-haired friend was laughing in the mirror, and the glowing room timestamp was fully on display. Mr. Parker gasped as Lily looked down. I wanted to apologize to her, to throw the phone away, and to unleash absolute hell on everyone sitting across that table. I kept my voice completely flat, stating she did not fall. The first board member's face changed. The second board member froze, while Mrs. Voss quickly claimed it was just teenage drama and a private misunderstanding. She argued that did not justify me attacking her sons. Madison quickly grabbed her hand, begging her mother to stop. What an absolute gold medal performance in pure garbage. But watch this, I swiped right over to Dante Crow's voicemail. She demanded they scare me badly, ignoring any school fallout. Not a single person in that room moved. Even her own attorney stared like she had just ruined his case. Mrs. Voss's face turned pale as she stammered that it was out of context. Next, I exposed Tyler's text, telling them to bring me to the warehouse, followed immediately by Madison's cruel message. She called Lily a stray dog, causing Mr. Parker to stand up so fast his chair scraped loudly against the floor. He asked if they dared call his granddaughter a dog, his voice shaking, while Madison stayed silent, and Tyler screamed that this was illegal. He claimed I stole them, but I reminded him it was from the gang his mother hired. Everyone slowly turned toward Mrs. Voss. She stammered to find an excuse, but nothing came out. Their lawyer quickly stood up and demanded an immediate recess. Principal Whitaker finally found his spine after all this time. Good for him. He simply said no. He ordered security to escort Tyler and Madison off the property pending their formal expulsion, causing Mrs. Voss to absolutely explode. She screamed they could not do this, but the board members refused to defend her. Donations are always nice. But lawsuits backed by hard video evidence are a different story. The board member announced they would fully cooperate with the police. Madison stood up with a pale face, crying out to her father. Mr. Voss had remained silent, looking completely defeated. Looking at his family, he quietly asked Madison if she actually recorded it. This time, her tears were completely real. Too late for tears. Tyler kicked his chair, swearing in rage, while Noah just watched from the witness corner. From the back, Noah whispered for him to stop talking. I almost smiled before Tyler suddenly lunged, but security tackled him first. Thank goodness, because my restraint was wearing thin. As they dragged him away, Tyler screamed, asking if I thought I was safe. He yelled to ask if this was over, but I stayed quiet. Madison walked past Lily, shaking with tears, pausing for just 1 second. Madison whispers, asking if Lily is happy now. Lily looks up, her hands trembling, but her voice stays rock solid. No, she says, she is just not scared of her anymore. That hit Madison harder than any physical punch. Her fake smile completely cracks. By the end of the week, the school expels Madison and Tyler. Meanwhile, Bryce transfers out voluntarily. The school uses soft words like safety and community to hide their cowardice. Too bad for them, the footage leaks anyway. The leaked footage completely ruins them. Madison's fake act, Tyler's threats, the bribe money, and Lily's assault. Social media tears them to shreds. Mr. Voss instantly resigns from the board. Mrs. Voss deletes all her public accounts. Finally, a useful move from her. For 2 days, Westbridge High actually feels breathable. Lily walks down the hallway, head held high. People scatter because guilt suddenly kicks in once witnesses realize they actually have eyes. Noah joins the table at lunch. Tyler's old crew avoids Aiden's gaze like he is carrying some kind of contagious plague. It almost felt like peace. Almost. That Friday, the teacher introduces 2 new transfer students. The first is a boy in a dark blazer, standing rigid while scanning every single exit before sitting. The second is a girl with dark hair and incredibly calm eyes. She carries that expensive silence that makes everyone whisper. The teacher smiles, introducing them as Ava Veyron and Cole Maddox. Noah leans over, totally pale. He whispers, asking if Aiden knows Veyron Global. They handle military defense, satellites, and surveillance drones. Absolutely filthy rich. They buy a politician and keep the change kind of rich. Ava walks right past Aiden's desk. Cole Maddox locks eyes with him once. No panic, no ego. Just the calculated gaze of someone measuring every single escape route. For the first time since arriving, someone at this school looks right past Aiden's harmless transfer student mask. This guy sees a threat, and Aiden hates that he's actually right. But check this out, Ava is nothing like other rich kids. That makes her impossible to read, which is way more dangerous. Madison wanted everyone to fear her power. But Ava? Proving her power just bores her. She stays quiet, hides her wealth, and has 0 fake friends laughing on command. People clear a path for her anyway because her family name carries massive weight. Cole sits 2 seats behind her, watching everything. The doors, the windows, the teacher, and especially Aiden's hands. Aiden notices because he is tracking Cole too. By lunchtime, Noah delivers a full, panicked history of the Veyron Empire. They dominate aerospace tech and high-end private security. Add in military software and enough government contracts to make average billionaires look broke. Her grandfather is the boss. Her cousin runs their security division. Noah warns him to stay away. Aiden replies that he avoids everyone. Noah scoffs, saying Aiden keeps wrecking social hierarchies. Aiden claims it was just once, but Noah's stare forces him to admit it is more. Across the room, Ava sits alone while Cole stands guard. That bothers Aiden, the sheer familiarity of it all. It is the behavior of a bodyguard guarding an asset. Lily walks in a moment later, sitting down with a lunch bag. She looks better. Still exhausted, but no longer hiding from the world. She slides half a sandwich over to him. She says her grandpa noticed he forgot lunch. Aiden claims he did not, pointing to his Russian protein bar. He defends his bar, but Lily points out it expired 3 years ago. It still counts, he argues, as she pushes the real food closer. She tells him to eat real food. He stares at the sandwich. In his old life, food was only ever fuel, bait, or poison. Here, it is just care wrapped in paper. A truly dangerous country. Aiden takes a bite, and honestly, it is pretty good. Noah watches them, grinning like an absolute idiot. Lily asks what's up, and Noah says nothing, which obviously means everything. Aiden is about to call out his stupid grin, but hold on, look who just decided to crash their little lunch party. He just moves with a silence that regular folks never notice. Too bad for him, Aiden tracked him 4 steps back. Cole addresses Aiden directly, asking for a talk. Aiden shuts him down instantly. Lily blinks while Noah looks terrified. Unbothered, Cole says it concerns Ava. Aiden tells him to talk to her instead. Cole glances at Lily, then back at Aiden. He claims it is about Aiden's background. And there it is. Aiden's appetite vanishes, and he stands before Lily, can ask anything. Cole leads him to an empty hallway. He keeps his distance, but not nearly enough for safety. His posture screams military discipline mixed with the classic arrogance of someone who has never been properly humbled. He turns, claiming Aiden's transfer records are completely fake. Aiden keeps his expression blank, but inside, his killer instincts instantly sharpen. Aiden asks how he knows. Cole admits he checked, adding that Ava has kidnapping threats, so they investigate unusual variables. And Aiden is that variable. A violent kid with no family, zero history, and forged overseas paperwork. I almost respected his bluntness. Almost. What do you want? I asked. He wanted the truth. Go to church. Cole narrowed his eyes. Where did you learn to fight? He asked. Bad neighborhoods. Which one? The worst. You think this is a joke? He growled. No, but you are asking questions you cannot survive. That slipped out. Too much classified info. Cole noticed. His hand drifted near his jacket. I watched it. He stopped. The air changed. Cole, Ava's voice called from the door. We both turned. There she stood, with Lily. Lily looked anxious, confused. Ava looked curious, which was honestly way worse than worried. Curiosity gets people killed because it pretends to be smarter than fear. Ava gave me a polite smile. Sorry, Cole is intense, she said. Her smile widened just a fraction. I wanted to thank you for what you did for Lily. She told me everything. Lily looked embarrassed, knowing she had not shared all of it. Ava turned back to her, asking her to walk to the store. I wanted to catch up properly, Ava added. Lily hesitated, then nodded. I did not like this. Ava had done nothing wrong. But some people carry danger around like expensive perfume. You do not always see it, but you can feel it in the air. After school, Lily told me to back off. You do not have to babysit me, she said. I was not babysitting. You followed me to the vending machines yesterday. I wanted chips. You bought nothing, she noted. I was considering my options. She rolled her eyes. I sighed. Fine, I worry. Her face softened, and then she looked away. I know, she whispered, but I just need to feel normal too. That stopped me. I understood that better than she knew. So I let her go. I watched them from across the street like a hypocrite. Cole spotted me and walked over. Thought you were not interested, he mocked. I am interested in keeping people safe. Then stay out of Ava's business. I was here first, he warned. He looked annoyed. You always talk like this. Only when people deserve customer service, I replied. Then a black van rolled past us. My instincts flared before my brain could process it, moving too slow. Tinted windows, passenger looking down, not out. The driver's hands were tight on the wheel. I stepped off the curb. Cole grabbed my arm. What are you doing? The van surged forward. Watch this, the van jumps the curb right near the shop. Ava turns. Lily freezes. The side door slides open. 3 masked men rush out. Cole swears and runs. I sprint past him. The first guy grabs Ava. The second targets Lily because she is right there. Wrong place, wrong split second. The story of my life. I reach them just as a third thug swings a heavy metal baton. I take the blow directly on my forearm. Pain flashes. I slam my shoulder into his chest, throwing him back inside the vehicle. The second guy is dragging Lily inside. I lunged and caught his jacket. Right then, the driver slams on the gas. The van screeches forward. My grip rips away. For a brief second, I see Lily's face. She is not even screaming. She just looks completely betrayed by life once again. The door slams shut. The van tears down the street. I chase them until my lungs are on fire and my arm goes numb. Useless. A car always beats legs. Just another amazing lesson from school. Cole grabs my shoulder. I spin around and nearly snap his arm in half. He flinches and barely pulls back. Don't, he growls. We need my security team. Down the road, the van turns and vanishes. You feel that? My pulse slows. The old, violent door is wide open now. Cole is already on his phone, calling Veyron security, giving plates, barking commands. I hear him, but block it out. Instead, I focus on the tire tracks in the mud, the partial plates, and the car wash sticker on the rear glass. Lily was only taken because she was next to Ava. Ava is leverage. Lily is disposable. That means my clock is ticking fast. Cole hangs up and grabs my jacket. You are staying with me until we figure out who you really are. I glare down at his hand. He slowly lets go. Good choice. I am finding Lily, I tell him. He says security will handle it. I snap back that they are not fast enough. Cole stares, completely speechless. He knows I am right about disposable hostages. I start walking. He follows. I do not stop him. Following is not teamwork. It is just a guy choosing to stand behind you. Naturally, I do not head to the police station. Before you get all righteous, cops are only good for writing reports, flashing lights, and arriving after the damage is done. I needed Dante Crow. The Southline gym is quieter now, just a few guys cleaning up and replacing a shattered mirror. One guy spots me and immediately finds an excuse to leave the room. Glad to see some people still have survival instincts. Dante is sitting near the boxing ring, holding an ice pack to his ribs with a cigar in his mouth. He narrows his eyes. Back to break my other side, he asks. Kidnappers just grabbed Ava Veyron and Lily Parker. Black van, partial plates, car wash sticker. His face drops at her name. Did you say Veyron? Yes, Ava Veyron. Exactly. He pulled the cigar from his mouth and muttered that this was definitely not some local teenage bullshit. I told him I noticed that too. Cole stomped in behind me, furious and breathing hard, asking why on earth I came to a gang boss. Dante glanced at Cole's blazer, then back to me, asking who the suit was since he was just noise. Cole glared and snapped that he was Ava's protection detail. Dante just laughed, mocking Cole for having a pretty terrible workday. I almost liked the guy for that, but only for a split second. Stepping closer, I demanded to know who would actually take a job like this. Dante's smile vanished as he swore it wasn't his people. When I warned him not to play with me, he raised a hand, repeating that his crew was clean. Still, he admitted he heard rumors, slowly heading to his office with Cole trailing behind. I shoved my hand against Cole's chest, locking eyes with him until he backed off and stayed outside. Inside, Dante pulled a burner phone from a drawer, explaining that some out-of-town crew had been asking around for favors just yesterday. They wanted a blind warehouse, untraceable phones, and a clean van. All paid with heavy cash. That was too much cash, so Dante passed. Veyron trouble brings the feds, and he prefers to stay out of federal prison. A smart criminal. Finally, someone with a real business plan. Who actually took the job, though? The East River Locos. A small, desperate, stupid crew renting space near the old paper mill. He scribbled the address on a receipt. I took the receipt. Suddenly, Dante grabbed my wrist, causing his men outside to tense. He let go before I had to break his fingers. He warned me that if this was Veyron level, there was a major client calling the shots. The Locos were just hired hands, which I already knew. He watched me closely, realizing I understood the girls were just leverage. For once, Dante looked less afraid of my strength, and more terrified of my actual motives. He warned me not to go soft. Squeezing the slip, I knew soft was never my problem. Outside, Cole was already on his phone alerting Veyron security about the mill address. I ignored him, snatching the keys to a motorcycle hanging right near the gym office. Dante screamed that it was his bike. I yelled back that I would bring it in one piece. I learned to ride in a literal war zone, which did not comfort him. Kicking the engine alive, I roared into traffic. Cole screamed something behind me, probably some useless threat. I ignored it and headed toward the old paper mill. Now, you and I both know I do not care about speed limits. 5 minutes was all it took. Cold rain began falling as I arrived. The massive mill was pitch black, save for some dim yellow light bleeding through shattered glass. A dark van sat parked behind a rusted truck, sporting the exact same mud stains. I cut the engine 2 blocks out and crept up on foot. My bruised arm still throbbed from the baton, and my ribs were killing me from the night before. My split knuckles throbbed. My exhausted body had plenty of complaints, but I ignored every single warning. The first guard stood under an awning, smoking. He had a handgun tucked away, completely distracted by the earbuds in both ears. Honestly, the disrespect of those earbuds offended me. Slipping up behind him, I covered his mouth and choked him out in 4 seconds flat. I quickly disarmed him, dropping the useless gun parts right down a dark storm drain. Guns in public spaces are just a bad idea. They give stupid people too much unearned courage. Stepping inside, I heard 2 men arguing by a forklift. One warned to keep the wealthy target clean, while the other scoffed, asking about the second girl. I was already moving. My fist caught the laughing guard first, slamming him against the heavy machinery. The other guy reached for his weapon. I grabbed his arm, smashed it hard against the steel frame, and drove my knee deep into his gut. He hit the floor, wheezing. Dropping down, I quietly demanded to know where the girls were. Instead of answering, he spat. I sighed at his poor decision. There is always one tough guy. I pinched the nerve behind his jaw, freezing his body. He gasped, whimpering they were upstairs in the office. I asked if the wealthy buyer was there with them. He gasped that the boss was just waiting on a call. Good enough. I grabbed some thick zip ties off the forklift and bound him tightly. By the stairs, heavy footsteps echoed. Of course, it was Cole, barging through the side door after me. He held a compact pistol low, his face red with absolute rage, furious that I had ditched him back at the gym. He barely caught up, staring at the pile of unconscious bodies. You have to love his pure shock in this moment. I joked they just fell asleep from the rain. Cole's jaw tightened in pure fury. I pointed toward the stairs, telling him the girls were in the upper office. I ordered him to stay back, but he hissed he didn't take orders. I told him to stay back, rushing up just as a thug with a shotgun rounded the corner. Cole brought up his gun, but he was far too slow. I hurled the heavy, empty pistol right at the guy's face. It smacked right into his nose and made him flinch. Instantly, I closed the distance, ripped the shotgun barrel away, and drove my palm straight under his chin. He hit the wall and slid down. Cole stared in absolute shock, asking if that gun was actually loaded. I cracked the shotgun open and emptied the chamber. Yeah, looks like it was. And you seriously just threw an empty gun at his face? It was just the closest thing nearby. Cole wanted to argue with basic physics, but we kept moving to the second-floor hallway. Muffled voices echoed from the office. Ava sounded incredibly tense, telling them they did not need the other girl and to let her go. Then a man laughed, saying she did not give orders there. Lily did not speak a single word. That silence terrified me more than anything else. Cole crept closer to the door. I yanked his shoulder backward just as heavy gunfire ripped through the wooden door. Bullets punched holes right through the wall where his chest had just been. Cole froze in absolute shock. Inside, the boss yelled out that he knew we were there. Enter slowly or he starts cutting pieces off the extra girl. Lily made a muffled, terrified sound. My entire focus locked directly onto that doorway. Cole whispered that his team was only minutes away, but I knew we could not wait, not with hostages still inside. He has one hostage he actually needs and one he can easily discard. Cole turned pale as he understood. The boss started counting down right now. I quickly scanned my options in the hallway. The thin wall, the outer window, rusted support beams, and the basic office layout. 2 thugs near the entrance, boss behind his desk, girls on the right. Misha always joked that I got quiet before doing something incredibly stupid. He was wrong. I only got silent before doing what was necessary. Inside, the boss reached the number 3. Watch this, I bypassed the door completely and crashed straight through the thin drywall. I slammed my shoulder into the weak plaster beside the doorway, breaking through the old wooden studs in one single, violent explosion. Thick dust exploded around me. The 2 guards spun toward the massive noise instead of the door. That was the whole point. Grabbing his gun hand, I drove his pistol upward as a wild shot hit the ceiling. I slammed my forehead into his nose, took his gun, emptied it into the floor away from everyone, and hit him with the heavy grip. The second guy swung a heavy crowbar. I ducked underneath, stepped behind him, and drove my elbow hard into the back of his neck. He crashed hard, denting a metal cabinet. Across the room, the boss held a sharp knife near Lily's throat. Ava sat bound to a chair nearby, her cheek bruised but her eyes sharp. Lily was gagged with tape over her mouth. She was deathly pale, but when she saw me, her eyes filled with tears she refused to let fall. A dark, dangerous switch flipped inside me. The boss yanked Lily tight against him, warning me to halt or she bleeds. I stopped. He was middle-aged, cheap suit, shaky hands, scarred brow. Just a desperate middleman with high ambitions. Honestly, those are often the absolute worst. Cowards do massive damage when they start to panic. Right behind me, Cole burst through the actual doorway, his pistol raised high. The boss pressed the blade closer, demanding we drop it. Cole froze. Without looking back, I ordered Cole to drop the weapon immediately. Cole gritted his teeth, slid his pistol onto the floor, and kicked it away. The boss grinned, mocking how obedient the bodyguard was. The plastic zip ties were cutting tightly into Lily's wrists, turning her fingers a dark red. I kept my voice perfectly flat. I told him to let her go. He laughed, asking why we thought he owed us favors. Ava spoke, her voice icy cold. She warned him that Veyron would bury him. He tightened his grip on Lily, claiming Veyron would pay him first. So that was the plan. Hold Ava to demand money or force a deal. Rich people bled cash. But Lily was only used as leverage against me because I had arrived. My fault. I had let her become a target. The boss stared at me, mocking my silence and asking if I cared about her. His smirk grew wider. That was useful to him. Caring was the one vulnerability I had spent 2 years avoiding. First Misha, then my family. Now, Lily was turning into both, and you can bet I absolutely hated myself for letting it happen. The boss ordered his man to tie Cole up. One groaning thug pushed himself up from the cabinet and reached out for him. I caught Cole's eye for a split second. He understood what to do. As the guard stepped close, Cole smashed his forehead into the guy's face and kicked his knee. It was ugly, but it drew the boss's eyes for a split second. A split second was more than enough. I hurled the crowbar, smashing his hand and sending the knife clattering to the floor. I crossed the room before it hit the floor, grabbing Lily and pulling her behind me. But the boss was already reaching under the desk. Grabbing his wrist as he drew the weapon, I violently smashed his hand down as a shot hit the wall. Ava flinched at the loud bang but kept her composure. Brave kid, though her hobbies were suicidal. I wrenched his wrist and buried a punch in his gut. He folded, but I did not let him fall. I grabbed his heavy jacket and slammed him flat onto the wooden desk. Wood splintered under his weight. I leaned close, growling that he put a blade on her. He just wheezed that it was nothing but business. That cold reply nearly got him killed. I suddenly saw that old snowy room again. Cold smoke, and Misha's hand pushing me away. These guys in black masks are calling us assets. Business is business, right? A clean word for dirty hands. Behind me, Lily makes a small sound. I freeze, fist still raised. The boss stares up at it, completely shaking. Slowly, I lower my hand. I only do it for Lily. Cole cuts Ava free, but I am already peeling the tape off Lily myself. She gasps for air, whispering my name. Aiden? I ask if she can stand. She nods, then almost collapses. I catch her. She clutches my hoodie like the ground might vanish. Behind Cole, Ava stands there, rubbing her sore wrists. Her look is a mix of shock and calculation. I do not like either one. Groaning on the floor, the boss mutters that we are dead. Whoever hired them won't let this go. I crouch right beside him. He flinches. When I demand a name, he just laughs weakly, telling me to go to hell. I grab the knife. Lily grips my sleeve tightly, her eyes wide with terror. She is afraid of him, but also afraid of me, which hurts way more. I drop the knife. The boss exhales in relief, but I just slide his phone out of his pocket instead. Seriously, people need much better passwords. No names in his messages, only bank details and a heavily blocked phone number. There are mentions of a Veyron contract dispute. Enough for them, but not for me. Sirens start wailing. Veyron security bursts in 3 minutes later. Cops follow soon after. Very official, very late. They bring badges, radios, body armor, and the completely useless vibe of arriving way too late. Ava's team swarms her. Cole tries to stand tall despite his bleeding eyebrow. A guard yells at Cole for rushing in without backup. Cole just ignores him, looking straight at me. Did you know that wall would break? I tell him no, I did not. His eyes narrow. I knew the structure was old, I clarify, and that is not the same thing. He looks at the shattered bricks, the knocked out thugs, the smashed furniture, and the boss getting cuffed. Cole mutters that it worked anyway. Lily sits on a crate while a medic checks her. I stay back because if I get closer, I might hover. Hovering would just trap her. I am learning, slowly. Ava approaches once her guards let her go. She thanks me, but I keep my eyes on Lily, ignoring her completely. Nodding, she says honesty saves time, then looks at the ruins, calling it a collateral success. Cole lets out a painful laugh. Then, Lily looks at me. Really looks. I can see a million questions in her eyes. How did I move so fast? Why were they terrified? How did I target their weak spots? Why do I look so much more comfortable around loaded guns than a cafeteria? Thankfully, she does not ask. When the cops drag the boss past, he glares at me, muttering that there is no way I am just a student. With a bloody lip and cuffed hands showing his pure fear, I whisper that I stopped myself. Lily catches that word. Ava hears it. Cole does too. I turn away, but it is already too late. Sometimes they come straight from your own mouth, opening just half an inch too far. Hospitals are basically battlefield tents, with cleaner lights and endless paperwork. The chairs are always stiff. The coffee is still absolute garbage. Everyone lies and tells you that you will be fine. What they actually mean is you are alive right now, so deal with it. Lily sits quietly in the examination room with Mr. Parker right beside her. He rushed over so fast his jacket was inside out. The moment he saw those ugly bruises on her wrists, he covered his face and looked away. It hurts to watch. Lily keeps repeating, she is fine. Honestly, people who are actually okay do not say it that much. A nurse checks my arm and insists on an x-ray, but I refuse. She glares at me like I am just some dumb teenager. Honestly, my disguise is working perfectly. Hearing us, Lily pokes her head out. She orders me to get the scan. Traitor, it is just a minor hairline fracture. I nod along to the doctor's instructions, fully intending to ignore most of them. When I walk back out, Lily is sitting alone in the hall. Mr. Parker went to fill out paperwork. She sits there with a blanket over her shoulders and my folded hoodie resting on her lap. I do not remember giving it to her. The whole night is just a blur. Sliding into the seat, I leave an empty space between us. She looks at my bandage. You got hurt. She notes that I talk about pain like it is just bad weather. Sometimes it is. After a long silence, she admits she is scared to ask. I stare at the broken vending machine across the hall. It has an out-of-order sign, yet it keeps humming like it is proud of the lie. That is smart, I tell her. Gripping my hoodie, she asks if I am dangerous. I wanted to say no. I have lied better under brutal torture. Yes, I tell her. Her breath catches. I faced her because running away was the coward's move. But she just stared back, searching my face like she was trying to find some hidden catch. I said I trusted her. That was exactly why I refused to drag her into this poison. Some things are better left unsaid. That sounds pretty dangerous. They say it is. She almost smiled, but her eyes just filled with tears again. She whispered that she thought a normal life was finally possible. That hit me harder than Dante Crow. I had believed it too. Mr. Parker came back before I could say anything. His endless gratitude actually started making me feel physically sick. It is hard accepting thanks when you know they are only in danger because of you. An hour later, Ava showed up with Cole and guards. Cole had stitches right over his eyebrow and moved stiffly. He looked way less polished. Honestly, he looked better. Ava stopped in front of Lily first, apologizing. Lily shook her head. You were kidnapped too. It was not your fault. Ava went completely quiet. That was the exact kind of kindness that can absolutely destroy a person when they least expect it. Ava turned to me, saying her grandfather wanted to meet. No way. Cole sighed, clearly expecting that immediate refusal. He offered to cover Lily's medical bills and therapy with 0 strings attached. Mr. Parker looked completely overwhelmed. Lily wanted to refuse but did not know how. I told them to accept. She frowned, urging me to agree. Pride is a luxury we cannot afford. Mr. Parker's eyes softened and he nodded slowly. Ava spoke up. There is one more thing. Rich people never offer just one favor. They bring packages. She glanced at Cole, then back at me. Veyron's security reviewed the mill incident. I stood completely still as Cole admitted I was the reason they survived. Cole looked away, suddenly finding the blank wall deeply fascinating. Ava continued, saying her grandfather wanted to know why security failed. Sounds like a family issue, I replied. He wants your assessment. I do not work for him. He will pay, she said. No. Her face stayed calm, but I saw the disappointment. She was not used to clean refusals. Cole spoke up, saying it was not a job. Just watch our training for one day and give feedback. Then leave. I asked why. Cole's jaw tightened. Because I failed, Ava, and if my arrogance caused it, I need to know how. That was painfully honest. Annoying. Honesty makes refusing so much harder, Ava added, and people are going to keep asking about you. If my grandfather is satisfied, he can stop his side of the family from digging too deep into you. And here is the real trap, guys. My fake identity fooled high schoolers, but billionaires are a totally different beast. Veyron Global had massive government ties, private intelligence friends, and probably satellites watching their coffee orders. If they kept digging, they would eventually find something, and if they did, others would notice that empty gap in my past. A dark hole with Russia sitting right at the bottom. Normal life was apparently just a hallway where every door slammed in my face. One day, I said. Cole blinked in disbelief, and Ava looked shocked too. I do this alone, I warned. Your team stays completely out of my way, and my past stays dead. Cole scoffed, but I stood up. He clearly remembered that office wall. His mouth made a very wise career choice. Ava agreed. The next day, their black SUV arrived. Lily watched from the doorway with folded arms, teasing that I looked like I was being arrested. Been arrested, this ride is just nicer. She frowned. You were? Allegedly. Aiden, I will be back. She looked like she hated how much those words mattered. I felt the same. The massive Veyron security campus sat behind heavy gates, cameras, and guards scanning us like the asphalt itself might confess. The building was all high-end glass and steel, looking too expensive for fingerprints. Inside, I finally met Ava's grandfather, Arthur Veyron. He was old, incredibly sharp-eyed, and calm. He shook my hand, then immediately glanced down at my heavily bandaged forearm. You saved my granddaughter with a fractured arm? Honestly, I did not know it was broken. That does not make it less impressive, he said. Just worse planning, I replied. He smiled, adding Cole called me difficult. Arthur laughed, then quickly turned serious. I won't ask who trained you. Good, I said, but he demanded to know what I saw. Looking through the glass wall at the guards training below, I saw guys with fantastic gear but absolutely terrible timing. Cole winced. Arthur did not, simply asking me to show them exactly where they were blind. That is how I ended up in their gym wearing borrowed gear, while 20 professional guards stared at me like a stray dog entering a boardroom. One guard looked me up and down, whispering that I was just some kid. Everyone heard him. Cole closed his eyes and honestly, we all know this guard is about to regret everything. And just like Bryce Voss, he was about to learn the hard way never to underestimate a teenager in public. His name is Grant Mercer, I only know that because he introduced himself right before trying to punch me. Polite guy, terrible hobby. The gym is lined with padded floors, mirrored walls, and a massive balcony looming overhead where Ava, Arthur, Vivian, Cole, and several elite staff members watch us closely. Vivian is Ava's cousin. She is about 10 years older with short, dark hair and a dangerous smile. Running security, she really wants to see if this stray dog can actually bite. Grant rolls his shoulders across from me. "Do not worry," he says. I nod and tell him to go easy, thanking him. That instantly annoys him. People absolutely hate when you treat their condescension like customer service. The trainer raises a hand, ordering a light, controlled spar. Immediately, Grant lunges forward, throwing a swift jab right at my face. Fast for a normal guard, but painfully slow to me. I step back. His fist cuts through empty air. Next comes a hook. I slip right under, lightly tapping his ribs with 2 fingers. Not a hard blow, just a receipt. He instantly frowns. The other guards start laughing. Grant rushes back in, feinting high to kick low. Much better. I shift my weight, let the kick breeze past, and gently tap his shoulder while circling behind him. He turns bright red. "Are you planning to fight or dance?" he snaps. I thought this was light contact. More laughter erupts from the balcony above. Vivian is amused. Ava is totally silent. But Cole? He's watching my feet. We both know he's the only smart one up there. Now Grant is done playing. His next punch is aimed to hurt. So, I answer. I parry his wrist, step inside, and drive my palm into his chest. He stumbles. Before he can even reset, I hook his ankle and drop him flat onto the mat. Clean, controlled, and completely embarrassing. The laughter dies instantly. Grant stares up, utterly shocked. I step back, asking if he is okay. He slaps the mat, jumping up too quickly. Pride has taken the wheel now, and pride drives incredibly drunk. He throws 3 rapid punches. I block the first, slip the second, catch the third, and twist his arm just enough to freeze him on his toes. His breath hitches. I lean in close. "Your left shoulder flares open before you throw," I whisper. I let him go. He swings at me immediately. Of course he does. Watch how fast I drop low, sweep his legs, and press 2 knuckles to his throat before he even lands. This time, silence. The trainer steps forward and calls it. Grant just lies there, breathing heavily. I pull my hand back and stand up. From the balcony, Vivian claps. Slow, deliberate, and highly annoying. "Well," she calls down. "That was highly educational," she says. Grant looks like he wants to crawl under the floor and literally move in. Arthur Veyron doesn't clap. He just stares. That is worse. Next up, a massive guard named Ellis. He has 20 pounds on Grant and looks like he believes weight classes are absolute destiny. Spoiler alert, they are not. Ellis tries to corner me. Good pressure, solid stance. He is much better than Grant. I let him press forward for 20 seconds while mapping his natural rhythm. Then, I kick his thigh twice in the exact same spot. His defense crumbles. I strike his solar plexus, tapping his neck as he doubles over. He drops to one knee, coughing. The trainer yells, "No neck strikes." I just blink. Ah, right. Rules. The other guards stare at me in disbelief. Cole face palms, while I tell the trainer I am sorry. I meant it. Mostly, anyway. Vivian laughs from above, asking Arthur where he found this boy. Arthur remains completely silent. The session ends right there, mostly because these guards are tired of finding brand new insecurities. Inside the locker room, Cole stands nearby as I change back into my school uniform. "You held back," he says. I just nod. He stares at my reflection. That was holding back. I button my shirt. They are just employees. Enemies get treated far differently. Cole goes silent. Honestly, that distinction matters to me. Enemies are simple, but employees actually have dental plans. After the evaluation, Arthur offers payment. I try to decline, but he absolutely insists. I take the cash because I have rent to pay, a broken microwave, and a sudden desire for non-expired food. Then, Vivian tries to recruit me. She meets me in a sleek glass office overlooking the training floor, sliding a glossy black business card across the table. "We could use someone like you," she says. I try to refuse, but she insists I hear her out. Her smile sharpens. She is offering money, protection, a clean legal identity, and access to people who make life a lot easier. That last promise hits too close to home. The black card sits between us like tempting bait. For one brief, tempting second, I imagine accepting it. A nicer apartment, real food, a fake school record strong enough to fool anyone. But Misha's final moments shatter the fantasy. I remember his shaking hands pressing my tag into his vest, whispering to keep running. I slide the card back to her. I did not fake my death to become someone else's weapon. Later, Arthur drives me back himself, which is ridiculous. A billionaire chairman as my silent personal driver. Meanwhile, I am in the back seat trying not to bleed on his expensive leather seats. Before I step out, he speaks. Aiden, people with your incredible level of talent do not stay invisible forever. I pushed the door open. He just smiled like I had said something absolutely heartbreaking. That weird look bugged me the entire walk home. Lily was waiting on the steps with Noah right beside her. Noah held a greasy burger bag and Lily had 2 milkshakes. Noah asked if I survived the rich training. I told him barely. Lily handed me a chocolate milkshake, saying I looked like I needed it. I just stared. She asked what, and I said nothing. I just wondered why cheap food always appears when I am unstable. Noah nodded seriously, saying that is America, bro. We ate on the concrete steps while traffic rolled past and the laundromat hummed behind us. Noah talked way too much. Lily laughed at him while Mr. Parker came out pretending to check his mail, then swiped some fries. For a few minutes, nobody needed saving. This piece was new, dangerous, and way too easy to like. After Noah left, Lily sat next to me and stared at my bandaged hand. You fought, she asked. With professionals, I said. Did they win? I took a sip of the shake. She sighed my name, Aiden. I told her they learned. She shook her head, her quiet smile softening into something gentle. Thank you, she said. For what? I asked. For coming back. I had no idea what to do with that. No one had ever thanked me for coming back. Usually, people just thanked me for leaving before the bodies became paperwork. The street blurred under the dim lights. I told her I am trying, and she said she knows. That should have been the end. A perfect moment on dirty concrete burger grease, melted milkshakes, and a girl who was not afraid of me at all. A dead friend's wish sat in my chest, making me think I had not wasted it. Then my phone rang. Major Reyes. My stomach went freezing cold. Reyes spoke fast. Tell me nobody recorded you fighting. I stood up instantly, knowing my peaceful night was officially over. I asked what happened. Reyes cursed and said Veron ran my training footage through some private threat database. Just a routine review, but someone overseas flagged my movement pattern. My hand tightened around the phone. Who? I asked. Reyes went silent for half a second, and that pause told me everything. I walked away so Lily could not hear, but she stood up too. Reyes whispered, Director at 9. Suddenly, the street noise faded. For a second, I was back in the snow. Misha's blood was wet on my gloves. Fire roared behind me, his voice telling me to run. I forced air into my lungs. What did they see? Enough, he said. Do they have my name? Not yet. But they know Zero's combat style just appeared in America. Behind me, Lily whispered. Aiden, she said. I turned to see her standing under the light, milkshake forgotten, looking at my face like she knew the world had just shattered. Reyes said the exact words I had spent 2 long years burying. They know you are alive. Behind her were the warm building, the cheap burgers on the steps, stolen fries, and the stupid, normal life Misha died to give me. On the other end of the line, Reyes reloaded his weapon. Zero, he said, his voice deadly low. If they come for you, they will not just come for you. Lily took a step toward me. I took a step back. It hurt her. I saw it, and I hated myself for it. But the door was open, and something from Russia had started walking